Forget what you think you know about studying. This isn't about learning faster or working harder. This is about the single most crucial skill for any student, any professional, anyone who wants to truly learn Z. How to remember what you study. Because what good is spending hours with books if the knowledge vanishes when you need it most? What's the point of countless revisions if your mind goes blank during an exam? This is the silent truth. It's not how much you study. It's how much you actually retain. Think about it. How often have you confidently finished a chapter only to find it's completely gone a week later? That moment of fear, that blank silence, it doesn't mean you lack intelligence. It means your memory hasn't been trained. This guide exists to change that. I won't just offer quick tips. I'll teach you the fundamental mechanics of your memory, how your brain truly learns, why it forgets, and how to fix it permanently. This is a real-world skill that transcends subjects, exams, jobs, and goals. In life, the person who remembers more, learns smarter, and adapts faster becomes unstoppable. If you are tired of forgetting, tired of wasted effort on ineffective study methods, and ready to become someone who learns once and remembers for life, then stay with me. The insights I'm about to share are rarely taught in schools, yet they hold the secret to transforming your entire learning journey. Prepare to train your brain, accelerate your memory, and enhance your communication. Let's begin by understanding your brain's incredible memory system. Before any techniques, grasp this, how your brain actually remembers. Without this foundational knowledge, you'll continue ineffective methods, blame yourself for forgetting, and never resolve the core issue. Once you understand, everything changes. Your memory operates in stages like filters. First, there's sensory memory. Imagine entering a bustling library, hundreds of books, rustling pages, the hum of the AC, the scent of paper, the weight of your bag. All this sensory input floods your brain simultaneously. Can you recall every detail? No. Your brain doesn't keep everything. Sensory memory is the brain's initial filter. It captures sights, sounds, smells, tastes, and touches, but here's the critical part: it lasts only for 1 to 5 seconds. Without immediate attention, it vanishes. If someone flashes a card with blue star for a second, you'll remember it. If focused, if distracted, it's gone. The lesson: attention is the absolute first step to memory. If you study with distractions, if your mind wanders, nothing will even reach your memory. Your brain deletes it as irrelevant. This is why some read a page 5 times and remember nothing. Their attention was weak, not their intellect. Without attention, you will forget regardless of effort. Next is short-term memory, your brain's temporary workspace. If you paid attention, the information moves here. Think of it as a small table where you can place a few items, but not too many. Science suggests it holds 5 to 9 pieces of information for about 15 to 30 seconds. If I list apple, chair, lion, doctor, river, you'll recall them briefly, but add more, and some will drop off, like trying to carry too many objects at once. What determines what stays? If something seems important, is repeated, or carries emotional weight, your brain flags it. Save this. It then attempts to transfer it to the next, more permanent stage. But if it's random, unrepeated, or uninteresting, your brain discards it. The secret again, short-term memory is temporary. To make it permanent, you must actively help it move forward through practice, connection, or emotional engagement. Finally, we reach long-term memory, the brain's ultimate vault. This is where true learning occurs, where memory becomes robust, deep, and permanent. Long-term memory is your brain's vast library. Everything you genuinely know, your name, home address, childhood memories, a loved one's voice, resides here. For information to reach this vault, it must pass through the attention filter of sensory memory, receive focus and repetition in short-term memory, acquire meaning or emotion, and be supported by proper sleep and rest. Consider two students studying the French Revolution. Student A reads the chapter once without interest, notes, or repetition. Student B reads it, creates a mind map, discusses it with a friend, links it to a movie, and reviews it 2 days later. Who remembers more? Student B, because they actively used multiple tools to embed the information into long-term memory. Long-term memory isn't about innate talent. It's about consistent training. People with exceptional memories aren't gifted. They are trained. They pay attention, use repetition and recall, connect emotionally, sleep well, review regularly, and organize their notes. You can train your memory too. Your past struggles don't matter. From today, you'll adopt new strategies that align with how your brain truly learns. Not generic tips, but real science, proven examples, and tangible success. When you do, you'll be astonished by your capacity to remember, your speed of learning, and your newfound confidence in exams, presentations, and life itself. The real secret is this: memory is not a gift, it's a method, and anyone can master it, even you. Technique 1, learn like you'll teach it. The Feynman technique. Do you study to understand or merely to pass? Most students approach learning with the wrong mindset. They study out of obligation, memorize for exams, highlight everything, and reread endlessly. But when asked to explain, they freeze. Why? Because they never truly understood or internalized the knowledge. This is where the Feynman technique, named after Nobel Prize winner Richard Feynman, comes in. Feynman famously said, "If you can't explain it to a child, you don't understand it yourself." Here's the 4-step method to amplify your memory 10 times over. Step 1, study with a teacher's mindset. When engaging with a chapter or concept, don't think, "I need to memorize this." Instead, think, "Tomorrow, I have to teach this to someone who knows absolutely nothing about it." This mindset shift from memorizing to teaching transforms everything. Your brain sharpens, you actively seek meaning, ask deeper questions, and find better answers. You're no longer just a student, you're a teacher, and a teacher must understand. Step 2, after learning, close the book and explain it out loud. Yes, out loud. Don't just whisper in your mind or think about it. Speak clearly, slowly, and confidently. Imagine someone sits before you asking for an explanation, and you are responsible for their understanding. Speaking aloud reveals what you truly know, and more importantly, what you don't. It builds confidence, deepens memory, and reduces exam anxiety. For instance, after reading about photosynthesis, close your book and articulate. Photosynthesis is the process where green plants make their food using sunlight, carbon dioxide, and water. The plant absorbs sunlight through its leaves, water from its roots, and carbon dioxide from the air. All this happens in the chloroplasts of its cells, producing glucose, which is the plant's food. You didn't just memorize, you understood. And understanding ensures remembering. Step 3, identify and fix gaps. As you speak, you'll inevitably forget certain points. What comes after carbon dioxide? Where does the glucose go? This is excellent. Your brain is highlighting the missing pieces. Now, return to your book or notes to find and clarify those gaps. This find and fix method is one of the world's most potent learning tools, often overlooked by those who only keep reading. Reading is input. Output is where real memory is forged. Speaking aloud is the best form of output. Step 4, teach someone else if possible. Find a friend, family member, or even a younger sibling. Ask, "Can I explain something to you for 2 minutes?" Their understanding isn't the primary goal, your learning is. The more you explain, the more you remember. Every time you study, ask, "Could I explain this to a 10-year-old? If yes, you've truly learned it. If no, reread and re-explain. Teaching isn't the final step of learning. It's how genuine learning begins. To remember anything forever, study like a teacher, explain like a master, and your brain will never forget. Technique 2, develop passion towards study. The emotion-memory connection. Let's be honest, the real reason you forget isn't that the subject is hard, but often because you don't genuinely care. You remember your favorite actor's birthday, song lyrics heard twice, or a conversation from years ago. Why? Emotion, passion, meaning. Compare that to a dry science chapter, a disliked math formula, a list of historical dates. You forget them repeatedly because no feeling is attached. This reveals a powerful truth about memory. The brain remembers what it feels, not just what it reads. Your memory is intimately connected to your emotional brain. Stronger emotion equals stronger memory. Here's how to harness it. Step 1, link your study to your dreams. Don't just study biology, study how the human body works to become a doctor. Don't just study math, study problem solving to become a successful entrepreneur. Don't just study English, study communication to speak confidently in interviews and the real world. Connecting subjects to your future goals ignites passion. Your mind declares, "This is important, useful. I must remember this." Economics becomes exciting. If you dream of starting a business, you're not just reading, you're preparing for your future. Step 2, use imagination to create emotion. Even the dullest subject can become fascinating with imagination. Studying chemistry. Instead of robotic memorization of the periodic table, imagine elements as movie characters. Hydrogen, the energetic youngster, oxygen, the loyal friend, carbon, the creative connector. It may sound silly, but it works. Imagination creates stories, and the brain remembers stories far better than raw information. Inject stories, drama, and fun to infuse emotion into boring topics and strengthen memory. Step 3, change your environment. Passion isn't just mental, it's physical. Studying on your bed amidst clutter and noise breeds boredom. Instead, create a clean, focused space. Use soft, instrumental music if it helps. Display a vision board or an inspirational quote. Dress as if you're undertaking something important. These cues signal to your brain that study is serious, and passion will build over time. Step 4. Study in chunks, not marathons. Don't force yourself to love studying for 6 hours straight. Start with 5 minutes, then a 5-minute break. When your brain experiences success in small increments, passion grows naturally. Step 5. Reward yourself. After finishing a chapter, give yourself a small reward, a walk, a favorite snack, a brief social media check. This positive reinforcement links study with joy, gradually making your brain enjoy the process. You don't need to love every subject, but you must find a reason to care, connect, and feel something while studying. The brain doesn't retain what is dry, it retains what is alive. Passion makes your studies come alive. So don't just study like a robot, study like a dreamer, a believer, and witness your memory transform. Technique 3. Study less, study smart, the 80-20 rule of learning. Many students who study 6 hours a day waste over 4 hours on ineffective methods. They read, reread, highlight, repeat, stress, and still forget. Meanwhile, another student studies for just 1 hour and remembers everything. How? One studies longer, the other studies smarter. This is the 80-20 rule, also known as the Pareto principle. 80% of your results come from just 20% of your efforts. In learning, a small fraction of what you do yields most of your success. The rest is noise. Apply this to studying in a 10-page chapter. Perhaps only 2 pages contain the core concepts. The rest is explanation or examples. In 100 multiple-choice questions, 20 might cover the most frequently tested topics. Only about 20% of textbook content is typically assessed in exams. Your strategy: focus on the 20% that delivers 80% of the results. Don't try to master everything. Master what truly matters. Ask yourself, what are the key concepts? What does the teacher emphasize? What appeared in last year's exam? After each class, note the top 3 takeaways. Highlight only essential information, not entire paragraphs. Identify your personal weak spots. If you fully understand a chapter, stop revising it and dedicate that time to the 20% you don't know. That's what's holding back your full potential. If you excel at essays but struggle with grammar, spend 80% of your time on grammar. That's where you'll see progress. Use active techniques instead of passive ones. Instead of rereading notes 5 times, try 1 session of active recall, 1 mind mapping session, and 1 session of teaching it aloud. That's smart learning. The goal isn't more hours, it's more results from the hours you already commit. Consider 2 students preparing for the same exam. Student A reads the entire textbook line by line every night for 6 hours, never asking questions or testing himself. Student B spends 30 minutes identifying key areas, then 90 minutes on practice tests, reviewing mistakes, speaking answers aloud, and creating a mind map. On exam day, student B scores higher with less stress, less time, and better memory. Why? The 80-20 rule. Studying smart means being a strategic learner, not just a hard worker. Anyone can sit with a book for hours, but true success comes from asking, what matters most. What's the most effective method? Where should I focus my energy? To remember more, stress less, and perform better, stop trying to study everything. Start by identifying the vital few things that truly matter. Master those, and everything changes. Technique 4. Use the power of location, memory palaces. The memory palace technique is a powerful tool to remember anything. But why does it work? Think of your childhood home. You recall the wall color in your bedroom, the precise location of your toys, the kitchen smell, the sound of the school bus from your window. Now, can you recall the definition of a scientific term you read last week? Probably not. The reason is simple: your brain remembers places better than words. Your brain is inherently visual and spatial. It processes space, direction, color, and position far more easily than raw, abstract information. This is why the world's best memory champions leverage memory palaces to recall decks of cards, vast numbers, entire speeches, and complex formulas. And now you can too. Picture your home, not generally, but specifically. Visualize your front door, your kitchen, your bedroom, your balcony. Each area clear and familiar. Now imagine you need to memorize 5 causes of World War I alliance system: nationalism, assassination of Archduke, militarism, imperialism. Instead of rote memorization, do this one. Imagine 2 people shaking hands at your front door, symbolizing the alliance system. 2. Visualize a giant national flag waving inside your living room, representing nationalism. 3. Picture a news headline about the Archduke's assassination lying on your kitchen table. 4. Imagine tanks and guns scattered across your bedroom floor, representing militarism. 5. Visualize a king pointing to a map in your bathroom mirror, symbolizing imperialism. Now, mentally walk through your house. As you move from room to room, each location triggers a strong, often vivid image that helps you recall each point. That's the power of a memory palace. It works because you're not forcing your brain to retain dry facts. You're attaching them to something familiar: your home. Adding a strong, often crazy or emotional visual image and placing them along a logical path. This simultaneously activates both sides of your brain, the logical list and the imaginative palace. When both are engaged, your memory becomes exponentially stronger. Where can you use this? Get everywhere: history dates, definitions, speech components, presentations, scientific terms, essay points. Even if you momentarily forget one part, the established path of your memory palace will guide you to the next. Enhance your images with emotion. The crazier or funnier, the better. Use places you know intimately: your home, school, street, a park. Review your memory palace daily for 2 minutes. Build multiple palaces for different topics. Most students try to cram facts into their brains by force, but the human brain doesn't respond to force. It craves stories, places, images, movement. The memory palace provides all of this. If you've ever thought, "I just can't memorize," try this technique once. It may become your superpower. Technique 5. Study in the morning. Unlock the brain's golden hours. The timing of your study significantly impacts retention. Study at the wrong time, you forget more. Study at the right time, you remember more. Science confirms this. Why is morning so powerful? Your brain adheres to a natural rhythm, your circadian rhythm, a 24-hour cycle governing sleep, energy, focus, and memory. In the morning, particularly the first 2 to 3 hours after waking, your brain is in its peak state. It's fresh, free from decision fatigue, quiet without the day's mental noise, boasts high dopamine levels aiding focus, and is primed for deep concentration. Your willpower is at its zenith. This is your golden learning window. Throughout history, great thinkers, writers, scientists, and learners capitalized on early mornings for their most crucial work, not for motivation, but because it genuinely works. By night, your brain is wary. Your body slows. You've processed countless decisions. You're emotionally fatigued. Focus wanes and memory formation weakens. You might still study, but retention will be low. You'll forget more by morning. This explains why late night studiers often say, "I studied it, but couldn't recall it during the exam." Their brain was too tired to properly store the information. Here's how to maximize your mornings. For powerful study 1, sleep early to wake up fresh. It's not merely about waking early, but sleeping on time for adequate rest. You don't need to wake at 4 a.m., even 6 or 7 a.m. is effective if you utilize your first 2 hours wisely. 2, avoid distractions for the first hour. Do not touch your phone, check social media, messages, or emails. This initial hour is your brain's clean slate. Dedicate it to deep learning, not to consuming junk information. 3, use mornings for your hardest subjects. If math, science, or memorizing lengthy answers challenge you, tackle them first thing. Your brain can handle greater complexity then. Reserve easier tasks like revision or note rewriting for later in the day. For example, if you wake at 7 a.m., 700 to 7:30 a.m., wake up, wash face, drink water. 7:30 to 8:30 a.m., study your most difficult topic with complete focus. 18:30 to 900 a.m., quick review of what you learned. 900 a.m. onwards, breakfast and regular day. In just one focused hour, your learning will be stronger than 3 hours of tired, unfocused night study. It's not just how long you study, it's also when. Your brain has peak hours, use them. Study smart, not late. Begin your day with learning, and that power will carry through the rest of your day and your life. Technique 6. Take rest to remember more. The forgotten rule of memory. The truth is, you don't remember while studying. You remember while resting. Yes, you heard that correctly. The actual process of remembering doesn't happen when you're actively reading. It happens after you stop. That's when your brain begins its crucial behind-the-scenes work. When you study, your brain encodes information. You're feeding it data. But this information is fragile like wet cement. It needs time to settle, organize, and solidify. This process, called consolidation, occurs during rest, especially during sleep and short breaks. During rest, your brain replays what you've learned, discards irrelevant parts, connects new knowledge to existing knowledge, and creates robust storage pathways. Without rest, the information remains weak and quickly fades. What happens without rest? You continuously feed your brain more and more, but it has no time to process. It's like pouring water into a capeless bottle, everything spills out. This is the outcome of studying 5 hours straight without a break. You feel exhausted, confused, unsure of what you actually retained. Your memory becomes unstable and you soon forget. Implement the 50B10 rule study for 50 minutes, then take a 10-minute break. During the break, walk, stretch, breathe deeply. Minimize phone use. Allow your brain to relax and organize the newly acquired information. Repeat this cycle 2 or 3 times, then take a longer break after 2 hours. Crucially, sleep right after you study. If you revise notes before bed, your brain will automatically review them during deep sleep. This is why those who review at night and sleep will remember better the next day. Conversely, if you study and then scroll on your phone for 2 hours, your memory is replaced by useless content. Protect your brain's rest. Don't study too long without pauses. After 90 minutes of deep focus, your brain needs a reset. If you deny it rest, your focus and memory will decline, even if you don't immediately notice. Take small breaks before your brain forces you to. Imagine learning 10 new English words. If you immediately scroll your phone or jump to another task, you'll forget most. Instead, after learning, take a 10-minute break with no phone, no noise. That brief rest helps your brain store those words more effectively. And if you sleep well afterward, you'll remember even more. Rest isn't wasted time. It's when your brain saves what you studied. In a world that champions studying more, understand that memory is built in silence, in the pauses, in sleep, in quiet moments. That's when your brain performs its real work. From now on, don't just study hard, rest smart. Because the person who rests well remembers well. Technique 7: Active Recall. The secret weapon of memory champions. What do you do after finishing a chapter? If your answer is rereading, highlighting, rewriting, or moving on, you're making a common mistake. You're trying to remember by reviewing. But the truth is, the brain doesn't remember what you review, it remembers what you retrieve. This is the immense power of active recall. Not just a tip, but the most potent memory technique globally employed by top students, doctors, memory champions, and high achievers. Active recall means testing yourself, actively pulling information out of your brain without looking at the book. It's the antithesis of passive reading. Instead of merely inputting more information, you train your brain to output it. This is where genuine memory is forged. For example, after reading 10 new English words, close the book and ask, what were those words? Try to recall them without peeking. If you only remember 6, check the other 4, then repeat the process. This is active recall, and it's far more effective than simply rereading. Your brain remembers what it pulls out, not just what it reads in. Don't just review, test your memory. That's how real learning occurs. Each attempt to recall strengthens the neural pathway, like exercising a muscle. The more you retrieve information, the more your brain signals. This is important. Store it properly. Conversely, passive reading is like watching someone else exercise. It feels easy, but you gain no strength. After studying a topic, close the book. Ask yourself, what did I just learn? Can I explain it aloud? Can I write it from memory? Use flashcards. Create simple question and answer cards. For example, Q&A, what are the causes of World War I? Alliances, nationalism, assassination, militarism, imperialism. Review your flashcards daily, always attempting to recall the answer before looking. Utilize practice tests. Download past papers, create your own quizzes. The more you test yourself, the better your brain remembers. Employ the blurting method. After studying a topic, take a blank sheet and write down everything you can recall without consulting the book. Then, open the book, compare, and add any missed points. Repeat this after a few days. This forces deep engagement with the material. Consider two students preparing for a medical entrance exam. Student A reads each chapter 4 times and highlights everything. Student B reads once, then immediately begins testing himself with flashcards and quiz apps and explains topics to a friend. On the exam, student A forgets much, while student B remembers clearly. Why? Student A stored information, but never practiced retrieving it. Student B trained his brain to recall, and that's why he succeeded. If you only read, you'll forget. If you test yourself, you'll remember. Reading is input, recall is output. Memory is built through output. So, from today, stop asking, how many times should I read this? Start asking, how many times can I remember this without looking? That's when your real growth begins. Technique 8: Mind mapping. Think like your brain thinks. The human brain is not a book. It doesn't process information in straight lines or paragraphs, nor does it handle long blocks of text efficiently. Your brain thinks in ideas, images, colors, and connections. This is why reading a dense book can be tiring, but watching a movie allows you to recall every detail. Your brain thrives on visual structure, and that's precisely what mind mapping provides. A mind map is a visual method for organizing information. You start with the main topic in the center, then draw radiating branches for subtopics and smaller branches for details, examples, or keywords. It's like transforming your chapter into a vibrant tree of knowledge, clear, colorful, and interconnected. Let's say you're studying photosynthesis. In a notebook, draw a circle in the middle and write photosynthesis. Now, draw 5 main branches: 1, 2, process, 3, inputs, 4, outputs, 5, importance. Process. Add smaller branches: light absorption, water uptake, carbon dioxide, glucose formation. Each branch can incorporate arrows, diagrams, or distinct colors. You've just converted a dry page of text into a clear, connected map that your brain loves. Mind mapping simultaneously activates multiple parts of your brain: visual memory, logical structure, creativity, color association, and pattern recognition. This creates far stronger mental links. Even if you forget one part, you can navigate through the map to retrieve the answer. It's like storing your memory in a web rather than a rigid box. If one strand breaks, the rest remains strong. How to create a powerful mind map? Use plain paper, not ruled notebooks, to allow unrestricted movement in any direction. Start with one central word or topic, clearly marked with a circle or shape. Use thick branches for main ideas, then thinner branches for sub-points. Incorporate different colors for different branches. Help your brain categorize ideas. Add small images or symbols: a sun for energy, a book for theory, a clock for history. Anything that adds personal meaning. Avoid full sentences. Use only keywords or short, powerful phrases. Where to use mind mapping. After finishing a chapter, for exam revision, to summarize lengthy topics, to plan essays or speeches, or to connect multiple subjects. It's effective across science, history, language, and even math. Textbooks are designed for teachers. Mind maps are designed for your brain. If you want to study less and remember more, revise faster, and understand deeper, make mind mapping a habit. From today, stop blindly copying notes. Start mapping your brain and unlock the memory you never thought you had. Technique 9. Use emotion and imagination. Make boring things unforgettable. Here's a truth you already know. You always remember what made you feel something. You might forget a chapter you read 5 times, but you remember a movie you saw 5 years ago. You might forget a topic's name, but you vividly recall the first time you felt embarrassed in class, a past argument with a friend, or a moment of profound praise. Why? Because the brain doesn't store information based on abstract importance. It stores it based on emotion. If something is emotional, it's saved. If it's boring, it's often deleted. The solution is emotional imagination, one of humanity's most potent brain tools. It means using your imagination to attach feelings, stories, images, or exaggerations to whatever you want to remember. Memory champions use this technique to recall names, numbers, facts, long speeches, even entire books. Once you master it, you'll realize the more you feel something, the less you forget it. Turn facts into stories. Instead of memorizing bullet points, create a mini narrative. For instance, to remember, proton is positive, electron is negative, neutron is neutral. Tell yourself, there were 3 brothers. Proton was always positive and happy. Electron was always negative and moody. Neutron was calm and neutral. They lived inside the atom kingdom. You'll never forget it. Use vivid visual images. For vocabulary or formulas, add crazy, colorful images. To remember, oxygen equals O2. Imagine 2 giant oxygen tanks dancing in the sky with O2 tattoos. To recall, EMC, picture Einstein running with a cape blazing with EMC, flames behind him. The crazier the image, the better your brain remembers. Inject humor or drama. If a subject is dull, make it funny or dramatic in your mind. To remember, the heart has 4 chambers. Imagine a hotel called Heart Inn, with 4 golden doors, each leading to a dancing blood cell. Yes, it's silly, but it works because your brain flags it as strange. I need to remember this. Or your brain has an amygdala, its emotional memory center. When you feel a strong emotion, even an imagined one, the amygdala signals your brain, this is important, save it. This is why you remember embarrassing moments, childhood memories, or beautiful family moments, regardless of how long ago they occurred. If you imbue your study material with that same emotional power, your brain will never let it go. You don't have a memory problem, you have a meaning problem. Your brain doesn't forget what you feel. It forgets what you don't care about. So stop memorizing like a robot. Start learning like a storyteller. Feel it, see it, imagine it, and watch your memory become unforgettable. Technique 10. Speak what you study. Train your mouth to train your brain. Most students study silently. They read, solve problems, and recall answers only in their minds. What happens when they face an exam, speak in class, or answer questions publicly? They freeze, struggle to articulate, and forget. Why? Their brain knows the information, but their mouth was never trained to speak it, creating a critical gap between knowledge and communication. This technique is transformative. If you want to remember what you study, you must start talking while you learn. When you speak aloud, you activate your vocal memory, slow down your thoughts, organize information more effectively, and hear yourself, creating a second learning channel. You become more confident and fluent with the topic. It's double reinforcement, one through the brain, one through the voice, making your memories solid and reliable. Read everything out loud. When reading a chapter, don't read silently. Move your lips, use your voice, be active. Even if alone, especially if alone, speak as if explaining it to someone. Explain the topic to yourself. After finishing a topic, close the book and explain it aloud. Don't worry about perfect wording, just articulate what you know. Okay, so today I learned about global warming. It happens because of greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere. You are simultaneously training your brain to recall, organize, and speak. This creates deep memory storage. Use the teach the wall technique. If no one is around, stand before a wall or mirror. Pretend it's a classroom. Say, "Good morning, class. Today I'll explain the difference between mitosis and meiosis." This may sound peculiar, but it works powerfully because speaking with intention makes your brain take the topic seriously. Reading isn't enough. Writing isn't enough. Speaking completes the learning circle. From now on, every time you study something new, ask yourself, have I spoken it out loud at least once? Because when your mouth trains your brain, your knowledge becomes unshakable. Now you know the truth. You don't need a perfect brain. You just need the right strategy. Apply these techniques, train your brain, and watch how fast you start remembering everything you study, clearly, confidently, and forever. If this guide helped you, subscribe now, because we're just getting started on this journey of unlocking your full potential.